1945, Frankfurt, Germany. General Omar Bradley held one of the U.S. Army's highest medals, Distinguished Service Medal. Recipient, Field Marshal Bernard Montgomery. Bradley had serious doubts about Montgomery's performance: market garden failure, Bulge press conference taking credit for American sacrifices, Rhine crossing delays. But Eisenhower ordered the ceremony. Alliance required it. Bradley presented the medal. This is the story of when political necessity overruled military judgment. When maintaining alliance required awarding recognition despite private reservations. And why the general presenting the medal had doubts strong enough that the ceremony meant more politically than militarily. Bradley gave Montgomery a medal, not because he wanted to, because alliance politics required it. Subscribe. Bradley and Montgomery. American and British commanders. Professionally coordinated. Personally strained. Different command philosophies. Bradley preferred aggressive tempo, exploitation of opportunities, speed. Montgomery, methodical, cautious, required massive preparation, overwhelming force before action. September 1944. Montgomery proposed Market Garden, airborne assault into Netherlands, intended to end war by Christmas. Operation failed. Arnhem Bridge not held. Allied airborne suffered heavy casualties. Bradley noted this, questioned Montgomery's judgment. December 1944. Battle of Bulge, German breakthrough. Eisenhower assigned American forces north of Bulge to Montgomery temporarily. Practical decision based on geography. Montgomery managed situation, helped contain breakthrough. Then held press conference, described battle as situation he rescued, implied British saved American forces. Bradley was furious. American forces had borne overwhelming casualties stopping Germans, Montgomery taking credit. Eisenhower smoothed situation privately, but relationship damage persisted. March 1945. Rhine crossings. Montgomery planned massive operation, weeks of preparation, enormous logistics. Patton crossed days earlier at Oppenheim. Minimal preparation, rapid exploitation. Bradley saw contrast, different philosophies, different results. May 1945. War ended. Germany surrendered. Alliance had functioned. Victory achieved. But command relationships remained complicated. Bradley's private assessment? Montgomery competent in certain areas, but questionable operational judgment. May 1945. War concluded. Transition to occupation. Eisenhower faced challenge. Maintain alliance unity. British and American forces would jointly occupy Germany. Recognition became diplomatic necessity. British government awarded American commanders. Eisenhower received Order of Merit. Bradley received honorary knighthood. Reciprocity required. American recognition of British commanders. Montgomery was obvious candidate. Senior British field commander throughout campaign. Eisenhower authorized Distinguished Service Medal for Montgomery. Decision was political as much as military. Montgomery's performance had mixed assessment. Market garden failure. Press conference controversy. Operational differences. But Montgomery commanded British forces, maintained cohesion, coordinated with Americans. Alliance required recognizing this, regardless of personal views. Eisenhower selected Bradley to present medal. Commander of 12th Army Group, Montgomery's counterpart. Appropriate rank. Bradley's private views were complicated. Respected Montgomery's administrative competence. Found him personally difficult. disagreed with many decisions. But Bradley was professional soldier, understood alliance requirements, accepted assignment. By then, medals were not just honors. They were diplomatic instruments. June 1945, Frankfurt headquarters. Montgomery arrived. American officers assembled. Press photographers present. Bradley read citation, Montgomery's leadership, strategic planning, coordination, contribution to victory. Words emphasized cooperation, highlighted successes, omitted failures. Standard diplomatic ceremony. Medal presented. Handshake. Photographs. Montgomery accepted award, made brief remarks, thanked American Army, praised cooperation. Ceremony concluded. Officers dispersed. Surface appeared harmonious. British Field Marshal receiving American decoration. American General presenting it. Reality was more complex. Bradley's private assessment was documented in later writings. Professionally acknowledged Montgomery's competence in certain areas: administration, logistics coordination, preparation, thoroughness, but questioned operational judgment. Market garden authorization despite insufficient planning. Rhine delays when rapid exploitation possible. Press statements taking credit for American efforts. Most significantly, disagreed with command philosophy. Montgomery prioritized certainty over speed, required overwhelming force, avoided risk. Bradley believed this had costs. Market garden demonstrated risk of inflexibility. Rhine delays allowed Germans additional preparation time. Eisenhower's assessment was similarly complex. Valued Montgomery's administrative capabilities, recognized political necessity of British command presence, but privately questioned operational decisions, found Montgomery difficult to manage, required constant diplomatic effort. Medal ceremony reflected these complexities. Award was genuine recognition. Montgomery commanded British forces throughout campaign, maintained cohesion, coordinated operations. But award was also a political requirement. Alliance maintenance required symbolic gestures, public demonstration of partnership. Bradley presenting medal despite reservations demonstrated professional military culture. Personal opinions subordinated to alliance requirements. The medal wasn't purely about Montgomery's performance. It was about maintaining coalition after victory. Montgomery Medal was one instance of broader pattern. Throughout war, alliance management required balancing effectiveness with cooperation. Awards became tools of alliance management. Symbolic reinforcement of partnership. Military commanders understood this, participated in ceremonies serving political purposes, maintained public unity despite private disagreements. Eisenhower performed both functions, military commander and political diplomat. Bradley and others accepted this framework. Understood roles included political dimensions. Montgomery Medal demonstrated system functioning. Military assessment. Mixed performance with successes and failures. Political requirement. Recognize contribution, maintain alliance. Result. Ceremony held despite complex assessment. June 1945. Bradley presented Montgomery with Distinguished Service Medal. Bradley had serious reservations about whether Montgomery's performance justified the symbolism of the award. Market garden had failed. Press conference had infuriated American commanders. Operational philosophy had created friction throughout campaign. But the medal wasn't just about Montgomery. It was about alliance, about maintaining partnership after victory, about political requirements overriding personal judgment. Bradley understood this, presented medal professionally, performed duty despite private reservations. Eisenhower ordered ceremony knowing Bradley's views, chose alliance maintenance over personal assessments. Montgomery received an award that was partly military recognition, partly political symbol. Service was real. British forces participated throughout campaign. Operations coordinated. Assessment was complicated. Failures alongside successes. Philosophy differences. Personal strains. Political requirement was clear. Result? Ceremony held. Medal presented despite reservations. Bradley never publicly stated his doubts. Maintained professional bearing. But private writings showed complexity, questioned decisions, noted failures, disagreed with philosophy, yet still presented medal. What cameras captured: ceremony, handshake, presentation. What cameras didn't capture: Bradley's doubts, Eisenhower's calculation, political necessity behind military symbol. The medal was given because alliance required the image. Bradley gave it, not because Montgomery's performance alone justified it, because coalition warfare required public unity despite private complexity. Montgomery received recognition. Bradley demonstrated professionalism. Eisenhower maintained alliance. All three purposes served simultaneously. Political requirement executed by professionals who understood necessity despite doubts. The medal Bradley had to give Montgomery, not wanted, required. Not purely earned, politically necessary. Not simple recognition, diplomatic instrument. Bradley's assessment remained complicated. Presentation happened anyway. Award given, alliance maintained, private opinions preserved but subordinated. History records both: ceremony and reservations, presentation and doubts. Bradley gave the medal, not because military performance alone justified it, because alliance politics required the symbol. That was the choice Eisenhower made. That was the duty Bradley performed. That was the award Montgomery received. Political necessity over personal judgment. Alliance requirements over individual assessment. Public ceremony despite private reservations. June 1945. Frankfurt ceremony. 1 medal, 3 realities. Military recognition, political requirement, personal doubts. All existed simultaneously. All shaped what happened. The medal demonstrated coalition warfare's complexity. Not simple, not purely military, not just about one man. About alliance, about politics, about what victory required after fighting ended. Bradley gave medal he had doubts about. That was the point. Did Montgomery deserve the medal? Militarily, complicated assessment. Politically, absolutely necessary. Bradley presented it despite doubts. That's coalition warfare. Political requirements overriding personal judgments. Ceremonies despite reservations. Recognition because alliance demanded it. Subscribe.